Hey everyone, Mark here. I'm in the van. It's gonna be like a little bit of a rant. That's a rant. So my buddy, first of all, playing in the background, this is Void, Horse of Reality. This was released like a couple of years ago. Their new album's coming out, I think next week. So, really good stuff. If you like your speed metal, speed thrash, I guess you could say. Good stuff. Cool album, right guys? So my buddy at Metal Music Meltdown, he had like a rant about who's our next, like maybe our next pillars for metal, because like our heroes and our legends are not living forever, right? So who's next, like in line? You know, we just lost to Ozzy. He was the big one. You know, we lost Lemmy, we lost Dio. You know, like our favorite bands or our heroes are not living forever, right? With Judas Priest, they're up there, and Iron Maiden and stuff. They're up there. So I'm a big Metallica is my favorite band. Like, you know, Megadeth, stuff like that. They're not gonna stick around forever, you know. So I was like, what would be like the next? I guess like bands like in line, and so I did. So I started with a list. So I was trying to think of bands that are in the started like maybe in the late '90s and early 2000s. So I wrote down some bands here. So I have Linkin Park, I have Ghost, I have Lamb of God, Avenged Sevenfold, Gojira, Five Finger Death Punch, System of a Down, Disturbed, Korn, Deftones, Slipknot, and Volbeat. Then I did a search of like who the top gross like metal bands at the moment or whatever. So who's making the most money? And so they gave me like a top 29. So I had to scratch out certain bands. So I scratched out Ghost, which I thought like it would be up there. I had scratched out Lamb of God, Gojira, Volbeat, like right away. They weren't listed, so you know. And then I kind of, so out of the guys or the bands that are in there that are making the most money. So I started looking at like ages, like how old they are or how much they are making. So then I had to scratch out like Five Finger Death Punch, because even though they grossed at 18 million, I started to scratch them out. Deftones I had to scratch out, which was kind of smart. I thought they would make more. They make 19 million. So I kind of went with that. So, and then I kind of looked at ages, and everybody kind of falls in the same age, like roughly in their 50s at the moment. Like, so I have my top, I guess, like, I got my top, I guess, 4, and I have a runner-up, I guess. Now, I know some people are like, oh, how come you don't have, like Dying Fetus or something like that, or you know, it's just those bands, you know, like some of these extreme bands, some of these, they don't make that much money compared to some of the mainstream guys, and it's all about, I'm gonna say, it's a business. It's about money. To a lot, like earlier on in the career, I'm sure it's about the music, but then they become a brand. It all becomes about money. And that's life, man. Like, you know, people do it all the time. You know, making enough money at one job, you go to another job. You know, try to climb that ladder. And creating music, art is the same way. Like, I don't care what anybody says. So these 4 bands. So I got, I think, so Linkin Park's gonna be pretty much the number one. They gross at like 113 million. They're roughly in their late 40s. You know, so that's a pretty big deal. So that's number 2. I went with Korn. I forget what they landed on the chart though. So Korn, like, they gross around 50 million, and they're in their mid 50s, like 55 or something. So, you know, yeah, I think they're at a good place. You know, so that's like number 2. So this is pretty much new metal bands that came out of the 90s, which is kind of understandable because it's like, you know, heavy metal. You got your Ozzy, you got your Black Sabbath, you got your Dio, your Iron Maiden, you know, and then with the thrash, you know, you got your Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, and so on. And then like new metal came in, and it's like here these guys are making like the next like maximum, I guess, the gross. So you have Linkin Park here, you have Korn, and then I'm looking at you got Disturbed. I don't know, maybe some of you guys like, you know, whatever, you can say whatever you want about Disturbed, but yeah, they came in 2000, grossing in at like almost 30 million. So I mean, like, that's like a pretty big deal. Again, like early 50s. You can say whatever you want, but these guys know how to sell records. They have a fan following. They have a following. You know what I mean? Like these guys, yeah, sure, they make the same album over and over, but it works. They're selling records either way. People are going to see their shows. So now and then the next band I went with Slipknot. So that's like our extreme band, which makes sense. They still have a lot of radio play. They sell records. They put on a great show. They go in arenas and stuff like that. And they're grossing at like 31 million. You know, I think they're all in their early 50s. I think Corey Taylor is like 51 years old. So it's not far off. And then a band that I put, I guess you could say at number 5, a runner-up, and that's Avenged Sevenfold. They're roughly, I think they're the youngest out of the bunch here. They're roughly in their mid-40s, like 44 years old or something like that. They're all in the mid-40s, and they gross at 20 million bucks. So I think, you know, they still have a lot of writing, a lot of life in them. I think that number will probably go up with the records that they keep doing, whatever, right? So, I don't know. Very mainstream, very radio friendly, but like, you kind of see where the trend is going down, you know what I mean? And yeah, like, yes, the new wave of thrash, like some of these bands, like, yeah, like I would love to have like a Warbringer on here or something like that, or Municipal Waste on here, but yeah, are they making 20 million? Are they selling out arenas yet or anything? Is it gonna, I think now, like the new wave of thrash, death metal, it's very underground. I think it's like these bands, I think Slipknot's probably the most extreme that we're gonna get. A band that I wanted to put on here is System of a Down, but like we don't know what's going on there. They make, you know, they gross at 40 million. But like that band's so up and down, so that's why I didn't put them on this list of 5 here or whatever. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. It's just a rant, just an idea, going off of what Jer from Metal Music Meltdown kind of went off of, and I kind of wanted to spin off of that and have some fun with it and do a little bit of research and see what's out there, you know. And I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments. I know a lot of people We'll probably crap on it, but whatever. It's all for good fun. Let me know what you think in the comments, everybody. And remember, metal never dies. Cheers.